You ever wake up, step outside in your bathrobe with a fresh cup of coffee, only to find out your RV, your pride and joy, your weekend escape pod, is gone? Just gone. No engine rumble, no break-in, no joyride. Just an oil stain on the concrete and a bright orange ticket slapped on your front door like it's laughing in your face. Yeah, that happened to Tom Rivera. Now, Tom had been living in Autumn Glen for 12 years. Quiet guy, software consultant, kept his lawn trimmed like a putting green, never missed an HOA meeting, paid his dues on time. He was the guy you'd want as a neighbor. But apparently, that wasn't enough for the little empire of misery known as the Autumn Glen HOA. And leading the charge? Eleanor Witcom. Picture a woman with pearls at breakfast, a tight bun that probably hurts, and the emotional warmth of a frozen turkey. That's Eleanor. So, back to the scene. March morning, sun barely peeking over the hedges, and Tom's RV is gone. Not stolen. Towed. After 5 years of being parked in the exact same spot on his driveway every weekend, without a single peep from the HOA. Suddenly, it's an egregious violation of Covenant 12.6. And if that sounds like legal jargon for, "we felt like screwing with you today," you'd be right. Tom, still in his slippers, takes a walk of shame, or fury, 3 blocks down to Eleanor's mansion, where her pearl-white Lexus and her husband's souped-up pickup are gleaming in the sun like nothing ever goes wrong for people like them. She opens the door with a fake smile, eyes scanning Tom like she's already bored. "Oh, Tom," she says, syrupy sweet. "I see you got our notice. That RV's been such an eyesore." Now let's pause. 5 years, not a word, not a complaint, not a fine. And suddenly, it's an emergency? Tom keeps his cool, barely, and points out the absurdity. But Eleanor, with a little chuckle and a pearl adjustment, says something like, "The rules are the rules. Maybe this'll remind folks we have standards." Oh, it was personal. Tom had made the mistake, the unforgivable sin, of challenging Eleanor's authority 6 months ago over, wait for it, mailbox paint colors. He'd dared suggest homeowners be allowed to pick their own shades, as long as they weren't neon or offensive. That was enough to land him on Eleanor's blacklist. And now, she was cashing in her petty revenge. So, Tom goes down to Summit Hall in tow, a towing lot that looks like a prison for vehicles, barbed wire, oil stains, and a front desk worker named Janet who could suck the joy out of Christmas. She hands him a bill, $473, and doesn't blink. Towing fee, storage, processing, admin, lien prep. The works. And that's when something in Tom snapped. Not in the throw-a-chair way. No, he was too methodical for that. But in the quiet, spreadsheet-opened, vengeance is a dish best served invoices kind of way. You see, what the HOA didn't know was that Tom had cash, good credit, a profitable consulting business. And most dangerous of all, time. So he dug, started pulling public records, tax forms, contracts. And what did he find? Oh, just a 7-year exclusive deal between the HOA and Summit Hall, with no competitive bidding, automatically renewing, and oddly timed right after Eleanor became HOA president. Let me back up a sec. Tom didn't just want revenge. He wanted the system that made this possible to crack from the inside. So what does he do? He buys the towing company. No joke. Walked into a local bank on Monday morning, sat down with his business banker, pitched the idea like it was just another investment, except this time, the return was personal. 2 weeks later, Tom was the new owner of Summit Hall in tow. Paid $800,000 cash. Didn't even haggle. At first he played it cool. Let the operation run exactly like before. Towed the occasional violator. Answered calls. Documented everything. But after a month, the game changed. He started small. Robert Feldman, board treasurer, owner of 7 cars with only 2 legal spaces. At 8 a.m. sharp, 3 tow trucks rolled up and removed every illegally parked car on Robert's lot. A black sedan, a rusted-out sports car, even a work van. Gone. When Robert called to scream, Tom answered like a customer service rep. Calm, polite, and lethal. "Mr. Feldman, the vehicles were in violation. If you'd like to dispute the charges, you can file a complaint with the board. Have a great day." Next up, Lisa Caraway. Her boat trailer had been sitting in her driveway since Halloween. Now it was Easter. 1 call, and Tom's biggest tow rig backed into her cul-de-sac like a shark smelling blood. Then came the wild card, Miguel. Miguel Santos wasn't a board member. He was a contractor, and a damn good one. He'd been hired by the HOA to redo crown molding at the community center. One of the board members tried to get his truck towed, said he was blocking a fire lane. Tom drove out personally. Saw Miguel working in the designated contractor zone, perfectly legal. Instead of towing, he shook Miguel's hand and said, "Keep doing great work." That moment, that was a twist. Because suddenly, the people who actually kept the neighborhood running, contractors, handymen, neighbors, started rooting for Tom. Then came Eleanor. And let me tell you, Tom saved the best for last. Her husband's oil-leaking pickup had stained their circular driveway for months. Her Lexus was parked halfway over the sidewalk. She had unpermitted landscaping that violated clear lines in the covenant she herself had helped write. So one morning, Tom sent his most experienced driver, clipboard in hand, to hook Eleanor's Lexus right off the bricks. She came running out in silk slippers, shrieking like a peacock on fire. "You think this is funny, Tom? You think this proves something?" Tom, standing calmly in her driveway with a cup of coffee, replied, "No, Eleanor. I think it proves you're not above your own rules. You know what I mean?" Word spread fast. By the time the next HOA meeting rolled around, it wasn't your usual sleepy 5 attendees. Nearly 60 residents showed up. People who'd never spoken before now had stories about fines, about intimidation, about the board bending rules for their buddies while punishing everyone else. Tom stepped up, calm voice, folder in hand, and dropped the hammer. "I've documented 47 violations across this neighborhood, most by board members. These are the same rules you've used to tow, fine, and humiliate residents, and now they apply to you." Dead silence, then murmurs, then applause. Eleanor tried to regain control, but it was too late. One by one, board members backed away. Robert tried to spin it. "We've always tried to work with residents." Lisa called it a misunderstanding, but no one was buying it. And then, Eleanor resigned. Not in some grand, dramatic exit, just quietly stepped down, head low, pearls loose, control shattered. She was replaced by Margaret Doyle, a local teacher who immediately proposed a full review of all HOA covenants to eliminate outdated or unnecessary rules. And for the first time in a long time, Autumn Glen felt free. Tom didn't run for office. He didn't make speeches. He just enforced the rules fairly, across the board. And you know what happened? Property values went up. Contractors came back. People started waving at each other again. Funny how that works. And just when things were settling down, Tom got a knock on his door. James Witcom, Eleanor's husband. He'd lost his job, their cars were still in impound, and he had a sheepish look on his face. He said, "You proved your point, but don't you think it's time to let it go?" Tom just smiled. "Let it go? I didn't start this war, James, but I sure as hell finished it." And with that, he shut the door. So here's the thing. Power only works when people let you keep it. Eleanor and her board counted on residents staying quiet, scared, compliant. But the second someone used their own rules against them, the whole system crumbled. Now Autumn Glen stands for fairness, balance. And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder that no matter how rigged the game feels, sometimes the underdog owns the board. But hey, what do you think? Was Tom justified, or did he take it too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because when it comes to HOA drama, everybody's got a story.